What's up, everybody? Just thought I'd put a video up. I haven't put one up in a while. I'm gonna show you a little bit about this B18c1 I'm rebuilding. The head gasket blew. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but you can see where the coolant and oil mixed down in there. So that's not good for the bearings. So I'm gonna replace the rod bearings and the main bearings and get this thing back up and running for this EG coupe that I picked up in my rust bucket. Got rust everywhere, but the interior, man, is so clean. You can see back there, nice black. It's got this little D series that was blown up. It's still got AC, power steering. I want to have all that for the GSR in there. So it'd be a nice little project, nice little daily driver until I get some more money saved up for the MR2, which is currently sitting under that bad boy and will be in the garage once the Civic is done and up and running. So once I get a little bit farther, I'll video some more. Okay, so while I'm waiting on my 1/2-inch impact to charge because it's dead, to get that crank pulley off, I went ahead and took the rods and pistons out. They all look good. Extra slimy from all the coolant though. So if you're wondering, the coolant actually gets in between the bearing and the crank. Instead of oil, it pushes the oil away and then causes it to spin. So, but since this motor was turned off right when he found out the head gasket was blown, everything looks good. There's no scoring. Everything's still nice and smooth. So all I'm gonna do is get in here, take this all out, clean everything really good, rehome the cylinders, and then I'm going to put everything back together. Stay tuned. All right, now we got the crank out. We got most of all the nasty gunk cleaned out of there. Now we're gonna flip it over and check out the cylinder walls and see if there's any gouges or anything in them, which I don't think there will be. We'll clean out all that. Here's that one. Feels good. I don't feel anything or see anything down in there. Yeah, they all look pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and hone it. Let me grab a flashlight so you can see a little better down there. A little before and after. Here's the before. Yeah, brake clean, I just sprayed down in there. So there it is. So I'll go ahead and hone those out and be right back with you. Alright, so I just got done honing with my little dingleberry hone, that's what I like to call it. Grab my light, clean it all off. Need to oil it down now. There's some brake clean leftovers. Don't look too bad for a garage hone. Be good for what I need it for. Worked on many other motors before. So I'm gonna go ahead and I like to just use my little oil gun over here. This little bad boy right here. Fill it up with some oil. Get them cylinders oiled down. And just a light coating there so it doesn't start to rust or anything on me. And then flip it over, clean it all out. Get my crank in. Get the new bearings in, plastic gauge it. Make sure the settings are good. Do the same for the rods. Clean up the pistons. Put it all together. Be back. Alright. So this isn't really a how-to video, it's more just an update, kind of, you know, since I haven't had one out, but figured I'd show you guys using the ACL standard race bearings. So when you put these in, I made sure I blew out all them holes because you can't compress oil, so you won't get a good torque reading if you don't. Just putting these things in, tang, goes to towards the hole. And just clips in. Real easy. You just do all that, all of them, and then you want to do the ones on top of here. Torque it, put your crank in, torque it all down to spec. Well, obviously put your plastic gauge in there too. I just do it on top, each one. Torque it all to spec, take it all back off, measure it, make sure it's good. I like to keep it around 15 thousandths. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know what I did with it. It's a mess over here. Anyways, there's here it is. You got millimeter, inches. I like to keep it right there, 15 thousandths of an inch. I've had good luck with that. So it's hard for me to do this in video at the same time. I need a cameraman, but then I'd be able to do a lot more. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Alright, I got the crank in there. See the small little plastic gauge, this little tiny piece. Nothing crazy, because remember, you still got to take it off. You got to scrape it all off with like your license or something plastic that won't ruin it when you get it all ready to torque back down. But yeah, there's the before. We'll be back with the after. Alright, so now that I got all that torqued down and I got it taken back off, I'm going to take this, just tore it off, the 15 thousandths mark, and see how it sits on there. So if you can kind of see, we're good there. Good there. And it's really hard to see, but we're good on that one. That one's good. And so is that one. So these bearings will be perfect. I can go ahead now and clean all that off of the crank. And don't forget to clean it off the bottom of the main caps also. And lightly coat the bolts. Don't forget that, just very lightly. So it's nice and smooth in there. You don't want that creaking noise, and it'll mess up your torque. It'll be inaccurate. We can't have that. And then on this one, since the GSR's got the girdle, the instructions say to do them all to 22 foot-pounds, and then go back 2, 3, and 4 are 46 foot-pounds, and 1 and 5 are 56, I believe. I'm sorry, 49 for the girdle and 56 for the outers. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all cleaned off. Oh yeah, and I just put oil in between there, get it nice and lubed up. And don't forget, a lot of people overlook that, but the thrust bearings, can't forget those. It controls the back and forth, the thrust. So don't want to forget that. Throw them bad boys in there, and we'll go on to the rods after. See you then. Okay, so I've gotten to the point now where I've gotten all the old piston rings off it, and I've cleaned all those off. I got this one, new piston rings in, ready to go. I just wanted to show you this tool, this ARP piston ring compressor. Man, it makes everything so much easier. You can literally do it with one hand. Before you push it in, make sure your rod journals are on the bottom, not on top like that, because you can scratch it. You should actually use some kind of like plastic thing to cover the stud on the rod, but I don't have anything, so I just make sure it's all the way down. Make sure it says intake is facing your intake, and your mark is facing your timing cover. Also, another way to tell is the big grooves cut in the piston here are always for the intake on the stock pistons, and the smaller ones are for the exhaust. So literally, you could just take your thumb, push this down in, and bam, that's it. It's that easy. Love this thing. Definitely worth the money. I got mine from Jegs or something like 6 years ago. So definitely worth the investment. Go get it. Alright, so I'm starting to lose daylight here, as you can see. So I'm going to just show you this one real quick, then I'm going to do put the rest together. So I got my plastic gauge on the rod journal. on both of them. So I'm gonna go ahead, put these caps on, clean everything off, make sure everything's clean. So when you put them on, if you can't remember which way they go, it's simple. See the little tang there, the little groove? It matches up with the other side. So always face them two together, just like that. And then put the nuts on there, torque them down, and they get torqued to, I think, what do these get torqued to? These get torqued to connecting rod nuts, 33 foot-pounds in 2 steps. So it's, see that little 2 there? That's what that's for. So you come here, number 2, 2 stages. First is 15, then 33. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'll show you the results and see how far off we are. It should be perfect though. All right, let's go ahead and get these measured. So as you can see, there you can see a little bit better this one. Right on the 15. Good. And so this one over. And again, 15. Good. Same thing with this one. 15. Yep. It's a little fatter, but it'll be okay. And then this one, it's gonna be hard. It's hard to do this one-handed. But 15, good. So that's basically how you do that. Then I just take, I'll show you how easy it is for this stuff to come off. I take my license and I just literally just comes right off. So, and I just clean it up with a towel. And that's it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish up and get everything torqued down, and I'll be done for the night. And I'll show you how easy it should spin when it's done correctly. All right, be back. All right, motor is now assembled. New pistons, new bearings, or not new pistons, new piston rings, new main bearings, new rod bearings. You see everything is torqued down in there. Everything's in. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how easily this should spin with no effort. I got a long wrench, so it might. We're gonna take it. See, very easy, no effort. It's hard holding the camera and trying to do it, but yeah. So I'm done there. I'm gonna go ahead and put some more oil down in there, and I'm gonna order some time belt water pump, or a new oil pump. You know, just the stuff to make sure it's good, so I don't have to take it back out or fix anything in the car. But yeah, so here soon I'll have an update on the MR2, just ordering some parts, and then I will make another video me taking out the D series and putting in the B series when I get everything else. All right, see you guys. Peace.